Hi, Siraj.
Hi, Gabe.
I'm the PAACx rep of Barcata.
I'm the PAACx rep for BSA.
And we have a very lovely set of talks for you guys this evening. So, Siraj, would you like to introduce our first PAACx speaker?
I would love to. So, first up will be Cassie Chou. My bad. Oh, Cassie Chou. Cassie Chou is a fifth-year student from California who came out to Boston for college to get out of her comfort zone and gain new perspectives. This semester she holds positions in Kappa Pi Lambda and WISE, on top of being a peer leader for DeMore McKim and an ASU mini-head. Tonight she'll be sharing her reflection on how her approach in dealing with emotions has developed over the years and strategies that can help us build a healthier relationship with our own feelings. Give it up for Cassie, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. So I want you to all think back to our young, impressionable, and formative years where people tell us what the world is. In our naivety, we believe whatever they say to be the truth. A world where fairies take teeth from under pillows, flying reindeers pull a sled of presents, and rabbits paint eggs to hide becomes the reality in our eyes. Whatever made-up fantasy we hear fills our head with ideas and paints the facts of our world. And I'd say one of the biggest cliches and classic tropes are the countless children's stories that tell tales where the ultimate goal is the happily ever after. Life is simple when all you have to be is the hero who conquers their foes and fears, the one that stays positive and stays strong through their treacherous journey. This is the mindset I had growing up as I went through my own set of hardships and vanquished what I thought to be was the final villain of my story. While this used to be something I was a little sensitive about, as I've come to terms with it, I've become very open about it and have even actually come to appreciate this drama movie-like experience that was my childhood, because ultimately it's formed me to who I am today. There were a ton of revelations that sprouted from this chapter of my life, so I thought I'd share one with all of you tonight and perhaps entertain you all a bit as well. So when I was around 7, my parents divorced. It was nothing crazy, it was very amicable. I'm ultimately happy it happened and appreciate that I got to have both parents in my life. I was literally unfazed when my parents told me about it and was more concerned about going off to play pretend with my younger sister. The real drama happened a few years later when my mom remarried to her second husband, who I genuinely really liked at the time. Then on Christmas Eve, at a party, my mom introduced me to a new friend of hers. This was nothing unusual. My mom had a ton of friends that she was constantly introducing to my sister and I. But then later that night, I just so happened to catch my mom holding hands with this so-called friend of hers under the table. A few months later, my mom divorced again. 2 weeks after that, my mom introduced the same friend, but now as her boyfriend, and he immediately moved in with us. It was a shock to say the least, especially since my mom tried really hard to force us to accept him. Over the next few years, their entire worlds were each other. Completely disregarding the people around them, he left his pregnant wife for my mom, neglected his children who were desperate for his love, and left me to take care of them. Even though the two of them were crazy for each other, it didn't stop the yelling matches where their rage made them say the most horrible and degrading things to each other. All the while, I was living in a house that was supposed to be my home, but it became a place where I gritted my teeth through unwanted hugs, scared of a man trying to sneak a peek of me changing or in the shower, and received some very questionable compliments. Even after sharing my concerns, my mom excused away all his actions, saying that it was just him being awkward. I hated what I was put through for the sake of love. I saw what all these bad feelings made people say and do, and as a result, I adopted this very anti-feelings mindset. At first, I vowed to have an unwavering emotional state, maintain an overall mood of happiness, and I prioritized staying objective and unswayed by strong emotion because this is what I thought could have solved all my problems at the time. I did not want to let emotions blind me from how my actions impacted others, and I had to stay strong for the people around me. After getting through all of that, I prided myself in my mental fortitude and what I thought was the stable state of my mental health. I mean, if I could survive that, everything else should be a piece of cake, right? Well, eventually I learned that it's not that simple, of course, but this wasn't before everything had severely impacted my relationship with my feelings and emotions. Because I thought I emerged from this battle unscathed and stronger than ever, I used this as an excuse to help others at the expense of myself. I sacrificed my own boundaries and feelings with the belief nothing could rock my boat now. But at some point, it was too much. I snapped and was drowned in feelings of guilt, shame, and hopelessness. I had this image of myself that I was so proud of, and it shattered. I was so disappointed in myself for becoming another victim to negative emotions and falling to the inner demons that I thought I had locked away for good. I was so obsessed over control, and I had lost it. I was even more ashamed at the fact that I was stuck and couldn't seem to find my way out. I feel like there's a lot of emphasis on finding our happy endings nowadays. Oftentimes we're encouraged to seek out happiness, and even now we do what we can for our mental health and that we measure with so-called happiness. We try not to let things bother us, be happy, stay positive, and so on. It's all about focusing on that light at the end of the dark tunnel. However, in doing so, we can get trapped in a mindset of internal toxic positivity, refuse to acknowledge our bad feelings, and try to dismiss our negative emotions. We've been trained to believe that negative emotions are bad. We may have become so accustomed to the light that we've forgotten how to face the darkness, how to navigate it, and how to be comfortable in it. We talk about how to de-stress, do a little skincare self-care night, go out and get boba with your friends, or whatever else makes you happy to keep that sadness away. It's something we strive to eradicate and avoid. So when I was in this black hole, that's what I tried, but obviously it didn't work. I tried to talk to people about it, and while I did find comfort in it, it wasn't able to completely pull me out. Getting support and learning how to be vulnerable is important, but I found that being vulnerable isn't quite enough. It wasn't until I truly sat down with my negative feelings, like really took the time to get to know them on a deep personal level, that I realized that my negative feelings were there to serve me. Our feelings of anger, jealousy, insecurities, paranoia, etc. are all just trying to protect us from something. Literally, every feeling we have is trying to help us, trying to let us know something. It's a physical cue that shouldn't be blindly accepted or ignored. It should be understood. We've been told to practice empathy, and I think a lot of us here are kind and make the effort to truly listen and understand our friends when they are at their lows. But we need to practice this with ourselves as well. Just how toxic positivity between our friends can damage a relationship, our own internal toxic positivity causes us to avoid our personal authentic human emotion and ultimately stunts our self-growth. And it wasn't until I understood this that I was able to make the changes in both my life and my mindset that I was able to truly move forward. And this is how I did it. This little self-awareness exercise might sound a little silly at first, but bear with me. In my mind, I took that negative feeling and I made it into its own person. And then I asked this little inner demon, why are you here? Let's use fear and insecurity as an example. I'd ask these feelings, why are you here? And they would say maybe something like, it feels like your friends are drifting away. What if they don't like you as much as you like them? I realized I just wanted to feel accepted and loved and make sure I didn't get hurt. Thinking about the why is only the first part. I know self-analysis and introspection can trap us in a mental hell of our own making, which makes the second step all the more crucial. The next step is to think about the what. What is most important to me? In this case, genuine connection. What would I rather feel? Vulnerability and safety. Then I thought about what I could do to get there. I considered what situations made me feel this way, and it really forced me to evaluate my friendships, but it also motivated me to open up to the friends that I trusted and have that talk with them to express how I truly felt. I mentally combined both my vulnerability and my insecurity into this new being and thought of what I could do to help this new friend, who also so happened to be a part of me. Another feeling that I think a lot of us can relate to here is the anxiety of job or co-op search. The stress and anxiety of not getting that co-op as you see everyone posting on LinkedIn that they've happily accepted an offer. Why are you here? Well, my anxiety is there because I want what's best for my career. I don't want to fall behind, and I'm scared that not getting one will prove how worthless I am. What is making me feel this way? Seeing others succeed where I feel like I'm failing. It's very humiliating. It's from the tie between my self-worth and my professional career that is making me feel like I am not enough. But I treat my anxiety like my friend and think about what I can learn from them. I kindly reassure it, saying that I am qualified and I will get something. My co-op does not define me. A co-op rejection doesn't make me worthless. It's somewhere I can improve and an opportunity for me to grow. What would I rather feel instead? Well, maybe determined, motivated, and a little excited. Whatever path I end up pursuing, I know I can make the most out of the experience and learn from it. What is most important to me? Finding the opportunity that can jumpstart my career, help me grow, and one where I ultimately feel fulfilled. The timeline doesn't matter as much. What can I do? Keep up the search and be proactive. Even as other people are getting jobs, I know I'll be able to get something just as great, even if it's a little later. And honestly, thinking about where I could be in the future is a little exciting. So whenever I catch my mind trapped in that internal state of toxic positivity or in a downward spiral of disappointment and frustration and my lack of control, I remind myself, as much as we hate to face these dark and scary feelings, it's a part of us, and we really need to stop denying them. So whether it's anxiety trying to motivate you or feelings of unworthiness that's just trying to make sure you get the love you deserve, these negative emotions are misunderstood, and it's on us to hear them out. While we shouldn't just sweep the side of ourselves under the rug, this doesn't mean sitting with them and letting them overwhelm us either. We should embrace them, understand why they're there, and really work with them to figure out the what to move forward. When I was drafting this speech, I did a little research and was surprised to find that only about 10 to 15% of people are actually truly self-aware. This means having the ability to focus on yourself, your actions, thoughts, emotions that do or don't align with your internal standards. But I'm sure if I asked you all tonight if you had self-awareness, most of you would probably answer yes. The secret is that extra step beyond the why, to consider the what. Thinking about ourselves isn't the same as knowing ourselves. So I encourage you to try this little tactic that I shared with you all tonight the next time you run into those seemingly unpleasant but misunderstood feelings. Self-awareness itself is a journey, and it takes practice. It's like a muscle that becomes more effective with time and effort. It won't fix all your problems overnight. I didn't just hand you the magical key to all your happily ever afters. But if you take the time to consistently make the effort to understand your own reactions, thoughts, and emotions, you'll find yourself in a better mental space. If we wish to bring light into our lives, we have to understand and be comfortable with our darkness. In the end, it's not about finding the best way to vanquish our demons. We will always have those. But by befriending these inner demons of ours, and making the genuine effort to get to know them on a deeper level, just like how we do with the friends sitting beside us tonight, we can begin to figure out how to effectively work with them. We'll be able to better stand the test of our stories and face the real villains of our tale alongside our new friends that have, in reality, been with us all along. My hope is that after tonight, you'll all go back, evaluate your relationship with your feelings, and begin to take the little steps to build a healthier connection with your emotions, both the good and bad. Thank you.